So FEMA is recommending that you have certain things in your home, that you do certain things. I know for many of you this is a repeat, but I think it's really important that for new preppers that you don't, somebody that's thinking about all the catastrophes in the world and getting a little nervous, that you don't get overwhelmed, that you take it step by step. And that's why I'm bringing this series to you. And what does FEMA urge us to do? FEMA urges us to have 3 days of food and water. And we'll go into some of the foods that you should have, non-perishable foods, foods with a long shelf life. But then on top of that, what if the power goes out? What if the grid goes down? Then how are you going to actually be able, what do you do? What is the first step that you should do? If the power's out, you're going to lose temperature in your refrigerator. And I want to talk about this a little bit. What we've done in our refrigerator. As you can see here, we have a small thermostat. Keeps us in the safe zone or the non-safe zone. And the thing is when the power goes out, you're not going to have very long to use this food. So the first thing you should do is use this food immediately in a power outage, especially if it comes to war or a long-term outage. Because the thing is you will lose all of your food. So, some people think this is basic and simple, but when you're in a panic mode, when you're stressed out, you may be like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? This would be a great little gadget. They don't cost very much to have this thermostat. But what I will say is at least you would know. The other thing is you may want to snap a picture of the inside of your refrigerator. Why would you say that? Because that way you're not opening and closing these doors in a power outage, which in return is you're going to lose even more of your coolness and more of your temperature. And that's like something that's really important, because you don't realize what's in there until you open it and look at it, right? So snap pictures of the inside of your refrigerator immediately in a power outage, especially if it's chaos, civil unrest, ML, or grid down. It may be very, very important to take that step and do that. Also, to kind of take an inventory of what you do and don't have. We have a working pantry. Most of the foods that we have in there are dehydrated, so they have a pretty long shelf life. We do have a nice dehydrator, no way affiliate or anything. It's a Corsia. Anyway, I don't use it a lot. Dragonflies uses it a lot. But we do come up with a plan for our food preps and our food storage. So we bought this wonderful pantry. And we bought this pantry. This pantry is pretty full. And we just keep at it. But we have all of our baking needs up here. And the next one is baking needs. Also, when you're dehydrating, think about things that you use that you may want to spice up stuff, like garlic or peppers, or we even have popcorn. We have all kinds of things in this pantry. And this really is our working pantry, but also in a really bad situation, you're going to be really thankful that you have some brown sugar or some garlic to add a little spice to an MRE, or that Dragonflies has taken the time to make strawberry fruit, dried, powder, dehydrated raw eggs, poultry seasoning, garlics, also buttermilk blend. So some of these things, if you start doing it step by step and not overwhelm yourself, that is the first step, is just to do it step by step. I would suggest to everybody that you have baking soda, and I will also suggest to everybody that you have some oats. More than just that, that's just our working pantry, these two. Also, in the back there, you can see there's iodized salt, Himalayan salt, and molasses, things of that. But I think the main thing is what FEMA recommends is that you have 3 days worth of food and 3 days worth of water. Us personally, we did purchase an Alexa Pure, and Alexa Pure, we just have it sitting on a 5-gallon bucket. This is one of our storage buckets, but as you all know, we live in a cabin, space is very, very limited. But I like the Alexa Pure. We also have on our sink a Pure, and I've showed this before. This takes out a lot of the harshness of the water, so this is another good thing. What kind of foods do they recommend, or what kind of food should we get? Let's talk about it. So many of the foods that we have, you might lose, because if the power goes down for an extended period of time, then you would be left with hardly anything. It's always a good starting point to go by these regulations, 3 days food, 3 days water. That's a great starting point. And I think when it comes to people that are new to thinking that maybe they should get a little more prepared, at least if you have that, at least it would give you that time period to kind of sit back and go, okay, now what do I need to do? I would really shoot for a longer period of food, just in my personal opinion. Being in the prepared lifestyle, it is a way of life. So each and every day, don't overwhelm yourself. Just get 1 or 2 or 3 things. When you go shopping, not every day, but when you go shopping once a week or once a month, pick a couple little extra things. Beans, rice, powdered milk, salt. You want to think about your basics, and you want to have those readily available to you and your family. You definitely don't want to be stuck and go, oh my gosh, and then have to run out there with the masses, especially in a really bad situation. It could lead you into a situation where now not only are you without food and water, but now you're fighting a mob of people. And we've seen this so many times, like when it comes to hurricanes, the stores will be wiped out from flashlights, batteries, toilet paper, water, immediately, less than 24 hours. If there's a major situation, it's going to be a lot more than that, because grocery stores are not going to be able to replenish those items. So think about your basics. Definitely follow the list that I have provided here on this video, and I hope that it helps you. Comment. If you have a question, put it in all capitals. I answer every comment on my videos, good or bad, and it takes a lot of people's knowledge to come together and work through these things before they occur. You don't want to be a sitting duck on a pond and have a bad situation happen and then not be prepared. The main thing is take baby steps, but take action steps. Action steps are the most important thing. We can talk all day on these prepping channels and preparedness channels, but if you, the viewer, the person that's watching this right now, if you aren't prepared, if you aren't taking steps, what would happen if you couldn't go to a grocery store for a week, 10 days, or a month? Go through your house, do a little inventory of the food that you do have. Some of the necessities that you need to think about definitely is water. A lot of people say, well, I live in a small place. We can all find excuses for anything. But I think the most important thing is to find ways to do the things, which is our motto, do the dang thing. That applies to us each in a different way. Prepping is not cookie cutter. But the basics are cookie cutter. And the basics is air, water, and food. So definitely think about these things, put them in priority, prioritize them, and do the best that you can. But every time you go shopping, go, okay, what could I get that would last me 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years? There's a lot of low budget items that you can get, even if you're elderly or disabled. So it's doing the steps. I would suggest everybody has salt, powdered milk, instant potatoes, instant coffee. Those are freeze-dried items. So they have a long shelf life. You want to keep them in a cool, dark place, and that's important to get the extended shelf life. Instead of getting sugar, get honey, because honey will go indefinitely. You'll have it indefinitely. It might chunk up on you, but it's still good. I really, really hope that this video helps you. And look for the yellow thumbnails, because I'm going to be bringing these videos out, and I think it's very important that people think basics. Because are we on the edge of catastrophes? One catastrophe after the other is happening in the United States. We have a wildfire that is historical in Texas, the biggest wildfire in history. We have had flooding in California. We have to have a plan. and you have to be able to implement the plan quickly for your family. So I hope that these videos help you. They're going to be short, anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. And if you have questions, post them. If you'd like to see a specific demo or video on a specific topic, comment here and I will do it. I love this lifestyle and I love where I live. You can see behind me, this is one of our rain catches that's getting ready to be added to our system. We currently live off of a cistern in the middle of 400 acres of 400 acres of forest. We're expanding our water system because it's so important to have water. Buy cases, buy gallons, refill bottles, do whatever you can do. This is OTWP, Off the Wall Prepper 2. Keeping it real, keeping it down to earth, and I hope you enjoy the series. We also are going to be touching on some lost ways, some old ways that got lost over generations, and I'll be bringing it to this series as well. This is OTWP. Everybody have a good day. Keep on prepping, and don't let yourself get overwhelmed. Just do one step at a time. It will make a difference in the future. Be it if it's job loss, a hurricane, a tornado, a blizzard, or a bad situation in the country where you can't go out, that you're on lockdown, or there's ML or some type of social unrest in the streets. You don't want to be out in the mess of the chaos of that. Thanks for watching, and God bless from here in the Ozarks to wherever you're at. Everybody have a great day.